Any questions from yesterday's training? Was everybody able to catch the whole thing?
I did have a question. I wasn't able to find on school the list of the where we can list our businesses online. What
Okay.
what is that under?
Yeah, we'll review that right now. Good question. Yeah, there's a lot more too, but I'm going to show you the ones to get started with. Hopefully we don't have internet issues today. Looks okay. Okay. Waiting to pause my YouTube. Okay. So let me share my screen. Actually, all right, we're going live here. We're on YouTube. We are going to talk all about social media marketing and automation. I got some wonderful professionals on here today. Let's take a moment and just introduce ourselves and kind of get to know each other a little bit. And those of you guys that are on here, you know the drill. I'll start. My name is Mike Reed. I own and am the president and CEO of 123 Legal Support and Mighty Process Server. I'm out of California, but we cover nationwide. So go to 123efile.com to e-file in California. All right, Mr. Jeff.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Jeff Spar with Virginia Court Services, Private Investigations by Jeff Spar, Roanoke, Virginia, 30 miles east of Virginia Tech, and also in Richmond, Virginia, process servers and private investigators, 30 years in the business. Get a website and answer your phone.
Answer your phone. Love it. Love it. Exactly. Mr. Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan Norris with the Ranworth Recovery Service. Also, we're going to be rebranding to Ranworth Legal Support Services here shortly. And I've been in the business for, in various ways, about 22 years. I'm out of San Diego, California. I work all over California, Nevada, pretty much nationwide. Now it's starting to look like global because I did a couple of jobs that I didn't need to go into Hague Convention, and that's going to be an undertaking in itself. So that's one of the things I forgot to announce this morning. So, but other than that, that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for coming, Ryan. Appreciate you. All right, Mr. Brad.
Good morning, everyone. Excuse me, I was at my grandson's hockey game. Brad Sanders, California Process Servers, uh, also Kern Servers. We serve Kern County in California. Happy to be in the group. Thanks.
Welcome, sir. And Jessica, our winner, our
Yeah.
champion.
Jessica Claycomb. I own Washington Pro Se process servers, and we serve the greater Seattle area, Snohomish, and King County.
Wonderful, wonderful. And in the future, any of you guys that want to introduce yourself and come on and give your company some extra exposure as our community grows, you just got to have your camera on, and I'm happy to when we do the masterminds to have you introduce yourself. Okay. Um, and feel free inside the chat, ask your questions. And when you have a question for the community, you can go inside our community at process server, mightyprocessserver.com and join the community for free and start to participate. Cool. Well, let's go ahead and dive in. So today's training is about, do we have it? Actually, did you guys have anything? I know I mentioned it a little bit before, but did you have anything you wanted to share before I start the training? I'm going to go over what you mentioned, Jessica, first. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go dive
Okay.
in.
Okay.
Jeff, you had some?
Yeah, I was just going to say in reference to social media, I've had a business quote page on social media, but it hasn't been touched in years because you haven't gotten with me to really update me. So I'm going to be paying attention here.
Yes, we're gonna go. And Jeff, you kind of have you've won so many times on the engagement. Like you have a standing order to just make an appointment with me. Actually, I'm gonna go over that really quick too. So really quick inside the community, I've updated some of the links. A lot of these links over here were things that I charge for, right? Kind of like a little ad, if you will. And that makes sense, right? Because it's a free community and stuff. And but then as I've been getting feedback from you guys about the different things and that would be more helpful inside the community, I've updated this. So thank you, Brad, for mentioning the onboarding calls. I met with Brad and he mentioned to me that like I was kind of waiting for my onboarding call and I didn't know how that happened. And I was like, that's kind of true. There's not really a process where I'm pushing you to hop on a call with me because I'm not hard sell trying to get people to sign up. It's like I'm just trying to help people, right? But I thought about it and I do believe it benefits you guys the best to have a one-on-one call at some point, especially when we're not doing the morning masterminds every day. It's nice to have these calls. So you can click here and schedule a call with me. If you haven't done that before, anyone can do that. I don't obviously want to meet with you every single day. Just meet one-on-one is not, I can't do that, but I would love to meet every person individually and talk about your business and how I can help. And we can go from there and what resources too that you get as a part of this. Verified member list, you can click here and see the full list of people who have been verified who are on my website or listed out on my website. And then, of course, if you want to sign up for that, that's the only link I left in here to sign up for. Websites, of course, we do websites, but that's pretty self-explanatory in my resources post here. Okay, cool, cool. So that's something we've updated. And then inside the affiliate networking, I've made it a little bit more streamlined, so you can go through and look and see all the resources if you've reached that level. And then marketing. So for marketing, I'm building this out. If you click on, and actually this may not have been available till this morning, Jessica, but if you go there now, you should be able to see get listed, get found, right? And all of these ones right here would be the first ones I would join that I did join. And I'm going to go through and just double check and make little Loom videos. And I'm going to add 1, 2, 3 to them if I haven't already. Okay. So the first one here, you click on it. This is the video from yesterday. Okay. And obviously this is me a video that I'm me talking about the directory and the membership that I offer and the bonuses that I give you as a part of that. And then some of these platforms we can talk about as you guys are signing up for them. This is kind of the homework, go through here, sign up for these. Also having, this is from yesterday. Also having, go back to the resources tab here. Having gone through the marketing links notes, if you haven't done that, and adding all of your social pages to your Google Doc, right? You should have your Google Doc all filled out with your Instagram and your social media. Do you guys have questions about that or feedback, or did anyone have any trouble?
No, actually, I actually did mine, and I'm still working through it. I only got maybe part of it done.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to admit, the one you got the link for the privacy policy. I used the Chat GPT, and I took a part of yours to make mine because I hadn't actually made one for my website. And then because I use a business phone line that accepts and that sends and receives text, and we got to have our registration done before December 1st. And one of the requirements is to have a privacy policy on the website. And then I got to have a optional checkbox for opt-in, opt-out any of the forms I have. So I put that in there. So I think I'm in compliance now. So, but I'll know right now it's under review, so I'll check it out.
Well, that's so cool because I don't know if people understand what you're really saying right there, if they haven't been through what you're going through, but that kind of compliance stuff is like, it can be daunting. But you take something like mine or anybody else's really, and then you put it into Chat GPT and tell it, hey, replace 123 legal support with my name and research laws for my local state and add clauses for my local state. You put 30 minutes into that and you have what you would normally have to pay an attorney $500 for.
Correct.
Yeah.
And ChatGPT really helped.
Yeah. So very cool. Very cool. That's good to hear. All right. And so you're still working on some of the social pages?
In fact, that is something that everybody should be aware of, though, because it's called TCR, and you might want to Google it. But to anybody that does business of sending texts out or even receiving texts in your business, you need to have your business registered. Otherwise, they won't allow you to do it. You'll be fined if you send or receive text, even if they initiated it. It still has to be registered.
Yeah, you definitely want to do that. I don't do text, but it's a great thing, especially if you're trying to text for reviews. That's a really powerful way to get reviews.
That's part of it. Well, I don't normally do text either, but I have customers texting me
Mm,
And they text on the business system because I guess they assume it's a mobile number or something, and it's not, but it still received text. So I think, well, let's just get it over with.
yeah,
It only cost me $1.50 a month.
there you go. That's cool. So where do you go to search and research about that?
I go to I would just do a simple Google like TCR. I think that's what it's. Let's just see how it brings it up. Yeah, TCR registration, and then it'll say SMS compliance checklist and things like that. What to avoid.
There you go.
I mean, I think it's really aimed at marketing, but I don't do
Mm,
any text marketing. But I do have customer send me text, and I respond to their text. And they have a criteria for that, but I just go ahead and get it over
okay.
with. It didn't cost that much. I think all together cost me like $20. The registration fee plus $1.50 a month, I think.
Interesting. Is it these guys Converged?
No, mine is through Ring Central. That's the business system. But I guess there's a bunch of companies that'll help you deal with that.
Yeah. Oh,
There's
here you
mine
go.
right there. Register your business and receive SMS.
Yeah, and Ring Central is great. That's who I use as well for my company for 123. Yeah, it's just a great and the fact I think you could get I got it down like $23 and I got 3 lines. I've had them for like 10 years.
I
Uh,
got 10 lines, so I pay about 100
yeah.
something a month. So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
but they're all necessary.
Yeah, yeah. They
They're
all
all
have something.
based.
I tell people that's why I tell people if you're having trouble with a lot of spam calls too, this is like the best because if
It
somebody
is.
has to push a number like 1 or 2 or 9 or whatever however you set it up, that guy gets rid of like 90% of the automated calls because they don't have there are some that will push one. They're automated to push 1 or 0. It'll go boop boop trying to push 1 or 0 and it's not, So it's good to start with like 3 or 9 or something like that. Push 9 for customer support, or something.
Yeah, mine does that.
Hmm.
Or 6 is to go to the service process. 5 is goes to judgment enforcement.
Mm, that's cool. Yeah, I love it. That's cool. It's cool to hear somebody kind of do something similar. This is one of the best things about a mastermind is you can come in and learn what other people are doing and that text compliance. It probably I think you're right. I think it primarily is for like marketing. If someone's like, "Hey, I'm on the do not call list," and you wouldn't have known that because you don't use the tools that tell you who's on the DNC or whatever.
Correct.
But one rule I know from real estate was that if they contacted you and you're providing a service to them, that it's assumed that they would contact you back. So you're okay.
Yeah, it's
with
called
text.
implied consent, and that's. But the thing about that is they still want you to register just in case.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah,
we're
if
talking
there's
a
a
dollar
case.
fifty a month for the low volume, which I'm taking, and then
Mhm.
it was like, I think it was like up to $20 registration fee to get it all done. But I wasn't gonna. The last thing I had to do was the privacy policy on the website, and the only thing I can see on yours, Mike, is you just have to add in if you were going to do it, you just have to add in a provision about texting. That's it.
Yeah.
You got everything
Okay.
else.
Yeah, I got it up here. I'm gonna research it. Yeah, I appreciate that. Definitely. Because you could actually text, you could actually text paralegals and attorneys.
Exactly.
I don't see how that would because it's so impersonal. But for someone who's already a client, I could see texting them for sure. Good feedback. Anybody else have anything? Hmm. You guys are ready to dive in, huh? So, I'm gonna do separate little videos. I know I always say this, but I am because each of these, for this course, for this video today, this training, there's gonna be one video, just like how in the Get Found is the first one, or I break down for you the full training. But when we're talking about organic traffic, we're going to have one video, that's this video that talks about how to create content, how to automate that content. But each of these, if you're like brand new and you're watching this and you're like, I don't know the first thing about Instagram, there will be a video under the Instagram tab that walks you through step by step how to create a new account. Okay. It's not going to be there for a minute, but it will be there. Same thing with YouTube, same thing with TikTok. But for now, I'm going to give you an overview and a deep dive on the automation of things. So there will be an automation thing and a video will be right here. All right. The replay. in case you guys are wondering about that. So a couple of resources right away is I mentioned this before. SEO we'll get to when I start talking about website, when I start talking about the email newsletter. So right here, down here, it says follow up, staying in contact. When we start talking about follow up, like we've already got the customer, we're listed in all these places, we're creating content, right? We're getting them to our website. We have paid traffic, whatever we're doing, we're getting them to our website. Once they get to our website, how do we stay in touch with them? How do we follow up with them? That's what we're going to really go over towards the end, the last week. But this first part is getting listed, getting found, and doing social media in a way that gets people to visit our website. So it's hard to talk about this without mentioning a niche. Okay. It really is, because if you're, if you're doing everything and you're so generalized as a process server, you can still do well. Okay. You can still do well, but to pick a down, oh, go to my website for this, go to my website for that. It's very difficult when you just have one thing that you do and you're not really a specialist in anything. Because as a process server, to be able to say, oh yeah, go to my website and get the 10 ways to, avoid getting served. You're going to get the wrong customers, right? You're going to get people getting served. You don't want that. Visit my website or comment below to get my, 10 steps for finding a good process server. I don't know. Paralegals just okay. Maybe I'm brand new paralegal and maybe that appeals to me, right? But other than that, you need something that's a niche related, because now you know more about your customer and you're focused on what they want. And we'll dive a lot more into that. So anyway, if you're wondering about websites, click here, sign up for a website. You'll never ever regret it. Okay. That's it. And if you want to build your own or you already have one, then don't worry about it. You got that taken care of. Okay. Okay, marketing notes link page. We already talked about that. You need to have this thing. You need to have your links for some of the for adding yourself to all these listings. They're going to want the information from your links page, which we just went over yesterday. You can watch that video here under Google listings and reviews. Okay, and I want to keep circling back to this week, because I feel like by the end of this week, by Friday, well, Thursday, we'll have our last meeting of this week, but by Friday, it should be your goal to have all your listing on all of these. And guys, as you go through these, I would love to hear as you go through these and put them in there. Often they start off free, these like free listings. They're only on here because they're free. And some of them will turn paid, where they're like, they do so well, they're like, okay, let's make it paid, And so let me know, other than mine, and Google obviously is free. And Yelp, I think, might have switched over to, no, yeah, theirs is paid. They have a paid and free. And then Bing, I think, is tied to Yext now, Yext and Yahoo. So just let me know. I think I do think this one has a paid is a paid one now. But just as you're going through them, let me know. I'm curious to know how much trouble you're having, if you're having trouble signing up for them and stuff. And let's kind of mastermind about that. And remember, the purpose of this is to get these high domain authority, these websites that have a high domain authority, to get them pointing back to your website and getting more people to visit your website and hire you, right? Because we're trying to go where the people are. We're not trying to go where we want to go. We're trying to go where the people actually are. Yes, Jeff.
So you don't have a VA that I could hire to handle that for me? Don't laugh. That's very time consuming. And I don't have the knowledge to do some of that.
Okay, so yes, the answer is yes, but we haven't started doing that yet. I don't know. We can talk about it, see what makes sense for you. I don't want to just. I'm not trying to price gouge you guys.
I'm not lazy or anything. It's just that last 10 days ago when I asked you to put up the NALS thing, and I went on there while we were in class, and I started to do the whole process. And then the last thing, 4 pages in, they asked me for credentials and licenses and paperwork. So I wasn't prepared at that moment to supply that. It's not on my desktop. But that's why I asked, because some of these things you have to go through this.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Some of it's a lot of work. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe you tell me what it's worth for your time, right? Like you tell me, hey, I'm sure someone else in the community too would be willing to help with it. Like we can mastermind and help each other. Like ultimately you want to get listed on them so that you can You can get the domain authority, but it could be a long-term thing too. It could be something you do over time. It could also be something you tell Mark to do, right?
Yeah, he's in class this week for personal protection class. So he's going to be tied
Oh,
up for the next 10 days.
well, that's good. Keep him busy. Yeah, good. I love it. I love it. My boys just turned 15 yesterday. I'm just doing everything I can to keep them doing productive stuff, when Mark's older, but all right, cool. All right, so I think we got that pretty well dialed in here, what we're gonna do. So let's talk about this. I put these links here. Some of these are affiliate links. I don't know how much I'm gonna get from them, if anything. If you care, I'll tell you. Okay. And if it actually makes me any kind of money, I'll be happy to give it all back to the community. Okay. So nothing shady going on. I use these, and this is the reason why I put them in here. So marketing notes. Okay, so best live recording tool. That's this one right here. StreamYard. StreamYard, as you can see, I have 78 hours of recorded video. Do you think I use this tool? 78 hours of recorded video. So if you go inside of StreamYard, you click this link right here, best live recording tool. So you don't have to go live. That's the beauty about StreamYard. They've actually created. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So
can
if
see it.
what's that?
I was just answering your question. I can see it.
Oh, okay, perfect.
I don't
So
see it.
I'm going to show you this because it's what I do. There's a bunch of ways to skin a cat. If someone knows where that term came from, please tell me because I have no idea why it makes sense. Someone immediately logged out.
Are you sharing your screen?
Yeah.
I can't see it. I just see you.
All right, let me stop share and then I'll share again here. Let's see if that helps. Let's go. Okay. How about
Okay.
now?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes I think it's if you have one screen and multiple windows, it does it to you. But and it'll pop up once I share. Okay, so what I usually do is I'll do reels, and then I'll put a date. And the reason why is because it's like I have it's what is it called? Chronological, what is it? Like if I want to go back and I want to find stuff, is today really the second? No, the third, yeah. So I do dots. Sometimes things don't like it if it's not a dot. But I want to be able to come back here and look at this, right? Now I go create. You can name this whatever you want, but I just go create. And what's really, really, really cool, guys, I wish I could spend more time on this. Oh yeah, StreamYard doesn't like Safari. I forgot. Shoot. Shoot, shoot, shoot. I just got a Mac. So let's see. I don't know. Chrome on the Mac just doesn't work very well. Hmm. Yeah, see, it's all struggling to open. I don't know why. It's like Apple was like, let's make sure that Chrome sucks on the Mac, so they stay with Safari. I don't know, but I'll do a separate video about this. But you can see, well, you can see from how much I've used it, I love it. And if you look at most of my live videos, if it's not on Zoom like it is now, then it's on StreamYard, and can I show you? Oh yeah, because it was trying to take me into the recording studio, right? That's why it did that. But what's cool is you can actually come and you can edit them. So if you didn't want to use some of this other tool I'm going to show you, you could come in here into the recordings, into the library, and you can edit and clip out videos. See, I did one right here. Here's a great example, actually. So it has like an editor. And you see the things on the side help me know where I need to position myself and for reels and shorts because the sides don't show up on reels and shorts. It just shows up with me right here. And you can come over here on the side and you can actually click edit and you could click edit into reels and shorts and it'll automatically make it. Come on, Zoom, work with me. Okay. So you can automatically change it. So I could go like this. I'm fighting Zoom. Zoom's windows are moving around. All right, so see how it's 1 minute? And so I actually recorded it on purpose to 1 minute. This is what I was going to show you, but I was going to show you how to go live on there. But if you see right here, each of these, see these little gaps in the audio down here? These are when I pause. So I'm purposely creating a sound bite that is only 60 seconds. 60 seconds, 60 seconds. So what I used to do, this is not what I do now, is what I used to do is I would come in here and I would edit. So this is the clip that's going to be edited. I can clip it out and save it as a new. Oh, sweet. I can minimize the zoom window. So I could come over here and go save as new, right? When I hit save as new, I can name it whatever I was talking about. That way it relates and I remember. I'm showing you this because sometimes you will want to do it this way because you're like, I want to intentionally create. I'm going to do it for 30 minutes and each one will be 1 minute. I'm going to plan them out using ChatGPT. Okay. I'm going to come over here to ChatGPT and I'm going to say, create 30 topics that paralegals would find interesting if I'm a professional process server in Chico, California. Just always add Chico, always add your city and state. Okay, understanding the role of process server in legal proceedings. I always talk about this, right? I always talk about how if they show up without a proof of service. Common challenges faced by process servers in California. You know, as a process server, one of the challenges we have is we'll get documents and an address. So this is pretty much what I do, okay, is I'll bring this up and then I'll see, and you don't see me doing this with Mighty Process Server really, but I do it a lot with 123 is basically you're just taught, you look at this and you think about a story. One framework I'll tell you real quick is something called the hook story offer. This is a marketing framework that is last forever. It's hook story offer. Okay, so the hook is something that's going to get the person to stop scrolling. And what's crazy about this, I don't want to go too deep on this, but the idea here is that they're scrolling, they're seeing a person talk, they're seeing a person talk, they're seeing this and that. If you're scrolling and you see something like somebody, there's actually an app that lets you put text on your phone and you see them like this, and then it says stop, or it says served, SERVD or something, served, and then you go like this. That's like a hook. It seems silly, but it's true. It's a pattern interrupt. Tony Robbins talks about this, right? It's a pattern interrupt. People are like, what is this? What's happening here? So they take just a split second to see what it is you're talking about. Okay. And then the story. So hook story offer is the best framework. And what is your offer? Your offer could be a call to action is another way to say it, CTA, which is hook story call to action, where it's like, let's actually just use some of these as an example here real quick. So, it's very basic stuff, but it's also very, it doesn't get any more, it doesn't need to be more complicated than this, right? So understand the role of a process server, common challenge. Let's do common challenges. So if I was going to do this right here on StreamYard, this first little 60-second clip, because that's what Instagram, that's the max for YouTube. Instagram and TikTok have went up to different amounts, like 1 minute and 30 seconds or 3 minutes or 10 minutes. They've gone up, but YouTube is pretty strict. It's like, if it's a short, it's less than 60 seconds. And YouTube, remember, if you remember from the other videos or other trainings, YouTube is the one we really, really care about. We want YouTube to be really good, right? So if we see on here, we can just kind of go down the line. And what's beautiful about the recording, I can't show you right here, but you can pause. So you hit record on the StreamYard and well, you're paused first, right? You haven't started yet. And you go, understanding the role of process servers in legal proceedings. Boom, record. As soon as you see the little red thing in the corner, you just start, you go into talking about how they need the first thing a judge is going to ask for, or have you ever been embarrassed in court where you showed up to court, you had no proof of service? This is what a lot of attorneys are dealing with. I feel bad for them. Our team makes sure that's like our number one priority, to make sure our attorneys do not show up to court empty-handed. Whether it's a declaration or a proof of service, you should know what's going on with your case. click the comment below, you know, proof, or comment below, served if you'd like to have whatever you're called at, whatever free thing is you're going to give them, depending on your niche. This is why a niche is important, right? And so that would be the first one. You would hit pause and you would be watching the time to try to get it under a minute. And it takes time to get good at it, but you do after a while. The next one, common challenges faced by process servers and customer. So that would be right here. So you've paused and you're right here. And then this is obviously a recording of something else, right? But I paused and then I hit record again. Let's see. See that? See how it was like, it is obviously a pause and then it was, and so I will clip it where it looks good. I'll put this right here and clip it. So this takes a lot of time. What I'm showing you right now is really good because you get really good little clips out of it. And you have to set up this template for it to work. And you get really good clips and you can do 30 minutes. All of these are great topics. The importance of proper service of process and litigation. Hey, listen, sometimes people will think that just because they got personal service that it's a slam dunk. But was it the person you served? Let me tell you a story about a guy where I served. His name was John. And when I went to serve John, I asked the person at the door, I have a delivery for John. They brought a John to the door. I served John, walked away. John was like, this isn't mine, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, right, dude. Drove off. Come to find out, John is John's dad. The John I'm trying to serve is John Jr. Nobody told me this. So I had to go back and serve it, right? It's improper service. This could be a little story. Remember, it's hook, story, offer. So some time could be helpful too if you went through all 30 of these and thought of a story for each one of them. And you can tell ChatGPT, give me more okay, let's get a little more advanced here. Rewrite with X axis being a hook and Y axis being the story. Let's see if it can do that. Certainly. Okay. Okay. I haven't done it with this before. Why do process servers face so many challenges? Okay, so it's asking questions, which can be a good hook. Hooks don't always have to be questions, but it's interesting that it's wording it like that. What is subtle service and substitute service and when it is? These are great, you guys. These are great. Can improper service ruin a case? Yeah. Yeah. And so you're thinking of stories that relate to this. So anyway, ChatGPT has made it so easy for you to be able to create content. I hope that makes sense. Do you have any questions so far? You guys are either just loving this or falling asleep.
I've been using Chat GPT a lot. Like I'm trying to just for simple tasks like, hey, give me all the cities in El Dorado County, all the cities and towns, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just like boom, list them off. I mean, you can't like it takes 5 seconds. So just starting to use it for simple things like that. And like I've used it to because I don't want to sit there and think like I did awful in English class. I don't want to sit there and think of some kind of little blurb for whatever listing. And I just have them do it. And then I might change 1 or 2 things to personalize it for me. Because sometimes they sound a little cheesy, but I feel like it's getting better by this nanosecond or something, and it really is. So
Yeah.
we
That's
have to
good.
use it because everyone's going to be using it. Everyone younger than us is like fully all about it for everything.
Yeah.
I agree with Mandy. I mean, it's amazing. Last year when we were, I don't know if many of y'all remember about San Diego, we were in the natural disaster zone.
Yeah.
And we had an atmospheric river storm. So I had to create a plan because I had about at that time I had about 6 or 7 process servers, and we used Connect Team to do like a message blast, like if there's going to be a problem. And I use ChatGPT to basically develop a response guide, like color coded response guide on how should I do a schedule, or how should I restrict movements of our of all our servers in our company, things like that. I mean, it's amazing what it come up with.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do a lot of really cool things. I continue to test it, put it to the test. Like, I wonder if it could do this. Like what I just did doing the X and Y axis, it immediately is like, if I told it to do it in a CSV format, it would do it in a format I could copy and paste to a Google Sheet. Like it literally is AI. It's a chat. It's a chat AI. And when things switch over from chat AI to where it just inputs its own prompts, where it's taking in things, like Elon Musk's bot, what is it called, Prime or Optimus? He's called Optimus. And he's walking around and talking, and he's like his factory bot, and he's already planning to build 15,000 of them next year for his factories. It's pretty crazy, man. Technology is going faster than we can even fathom, and so what we're talking about here really is now basic foundational marketing. Like when we talk about posting and creating content. So you guys have questions about StreamYard? I know I didn't give you actual recording. I will do that. I will record a separate video about it on Chrome. Jessica?
As far as making the reels and stuff, if we don't want to be in the video ourselves, what are your other creative ideas for?
Yeah. No, no, no. There's actually a good one. So you can actually use, I'm gonna show you a little bit of that here in this other tool called Opus. And you know, so one thing is I want to tell you, yes, you can get by for a very long time without using your face. You could actually go to Fiverr and you can actually hire a person to make a professional video. You can actually hire a news person that has like a cool news background. And then you can have another person, they will bring on another person that supposedly works for your company, and they will do an interview where it's like, how is it that, Washington Processor does this and this and that? Well, we do this, and you give them the whole script and they just do it and you put it on your website. I've done a couple of videos like that for my clients and in the past, and Kern being one of them, and he loved it, and it didn't have anybody. He didn't have himself or anybody in it. So you could do that. However, at some point, as the leader of your company, you should. That's my opinion. And also, it's way easier. And one of the reasons why you should, so you don't not just because Mike says so, right? One of the reasons why you should is because your vibe attracts your tribe. And the attorneys and people like that want to do business with you, they're going to start to relate to you, the way you look, the way you talk, the way you sound, your belief systems. Can I say this politically correctly? The Jewish culture. If you ever go to New York and some of those places, I know it because I'm LDS, and we're not nearly as like devout as they are when it comes to using only a Jew. Like they would tell their kids, like, "Why'd you hire him? There's so and so across the street, Tony. Why didn't you hire Tony? Or whoever. I don't know, but I know that they have thrived so much because they're so interconnected and they so support each other's businesses and stuff like that. And it's because they have this thing that they care so much about that they have in common. And LDS are like that a little bit. Like I know somebody who I started a dumpster company with my kids here locally. We're hauling trash, and immediately when I did that, I got a bunch of the older guys, elders in the church that were like, "Hey, can you come haul this? Can you come haul that?" And like, I just want to give you first dibs, And I'm like, we're not cheap, man. One guy is like, that's too, Mike, I want to use you, but that's too expensive. I'm like, hey, well, it's a premium, man. These little towns, they don't get it a lot often. But it's like, I don't need you to hire me. You know, I want to be the premium, you know. I'm waiting for the contractor who has no problem paying the $500 for a dump for me to take it. So to answer your question just directly is like, yes, you can. You can absolutely do it. I just recommend doing it this way. Good
Okay,
question.
thanks.
Yeah, of course. I love it. Yeah. And I think you look very unique, and I think you'd have no problem crushing it.
I just feel like my voice, like I sound like a little kid, so I'm not sure,
Mm-mm.
you know.
Di- no, I don't think you do. I don't think you do. I have a lot of kids, so I know. All right, so I want to give you guys this without overwhelming you. There's a lot of things that this can do, but what we want it to do most importantly is we want it to schedule and post our social media. So, first of all, when you create your account, if you go here, Shorts and Reels automation tool, you're like, Mike, this is $49. I think it's like $49 for StreamYard. You don't have to do that. If you can record it however you want to record it, you can actually record video. I forgot to mention that. You can actually record video with your phone. You can hold your phone up, record a long form video. The key here is that it's a long form video, meaning it's 20, 30 minutes, whatever, of content that you're sharing. You could even record somebody else. You could record you driving around. You could record whatever you want, but the content is like long form. This is the only way it's going to scale and make sense is that it's long form. Then what you're going to do is you're going to put it on your YouTube channel. Hopefully you have a YouTube channel. If you we already talked about that, right? On the social links, you need to create a YouTube. Does it need to be a crazy YouTube channel where you have all this crazy moving parts and images and all this stuff? Which I'm going to show you in an individual video for each of the social platforms. But does it need to be like that? Don't look at other people's social platforms and think like, well, I don't want to create it because I can't do it that well. No, make it your own. Like I only have 62 subscribers, but guess how many of those subscribers watch every video? My percentage watch time is like it's like 75% of my subscribers. That's why so many people are coming, which is like crazy to me. It's like crazy good numbers that people are actually why? Because they're all process servers. I created a new channel from my other channel, um, Mighty Mike Reed, right? That one has almost 1,000 subscribers, but I wanted to create a new one so that it would be just process servers, so my numbers would be very high. And when it comes to percentages, right? Because that's what matters. And look at what YouTube actually puts right front and center. Your website link, right? That's what you want. So, so the key here is you're going to record some kind of video, whether you do it on StreamYard. Oh, I'm sorry, I was showing you how to clip these as individual clips, but you don't have to do that. You can record using StreamYard, do a full 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it is that you're going to do for however many reels you're going to create. Download it as a whole, just download it. You could just click download and get the whole thing, 23 minutes. And or you could go live on YouTube. That'll make it much easier for you if you just go live. StreamYard actually allows you to go live on YouTube. I recommend you watch the video that I'm going to put here inside the community that talks just about StreamYard, where I could do it on Chrome and show you guys how to actually record using it. I think that would be helpful for you guys. And then, but once you have that video, okay, once you have that video on YouTube, okay, it makes it super easy for you to take the link. Okay, you take the link for the video and you plug it in right here. That's what you do. And once you do that, it'll come down here. I was so confused because it's grayed out. I was like, why can't I download anything when I first started doing this? But if you just hover over it, it makes it available. And so these are all videos that I've recently had clipped into mini clips. And this one I did in preparation for today because it's 123 EFOB. But before I show you how to clip, I want to show you that you actually need to add your social accounts. And so once you've created your account, what is it, like 29 bucks a month for this? Okay. You come over here, and again, you don't have to do this, but when you're ready to start doing social posting and scaling it up, because social media is all about scale, it's all about posting volume, right? You want to post, for those of you guys that don't know this, Facebook actually only shows 30%, 33%, 1/3 of your people who have already said they like your page. The algorithm only shows it to 30% of the people who follow you. If you get enough likes and views, full views where they watch the whole video or like your images, then it will show it to a small percentage more, like 12% more, and then 12% more. The fact is the algorithms don't show everything you post. So you have to post multiple things throughout the day, like 2 or 3 things at least per day for all the people who follow you to actually see what you're posting. Remember, the goal is to kill obscurity, like Seth Godin said, to make a ruckus and a loud noise. And this is what we're doing when we create social media. Remember, this is free. For now, social medias are free. At some point, they won't be. As a matter of fact, some of these I already pay for. I pay for Instagram to have a verified account, Facebook to have a verified account, Twitter to have a verified account. So in a way, I'm already paying for social media, right? And you don't have to do that though, but I do because it's cheap enough and it gets more engagement and stuff because people see your little blue check and they're like, "Who's this?" So they actually look at your messages and stuff. So, okay, so you've added all your social accounts. I've already added them, right? But you just hit add account, click it, and it'll open up in a window to try to get you to log into that account. It's completely safe. It works. Okay. I have all my social accounts on here now. All right, so I'm going to show you how to clip, but before I do that, do you guys have any questions? That's so funny. Okay, so this could be, Jessica, what you were saying, this could be where you're doing screen share. So this is one because I didn't make a video like I'd planned to, where I did like mini reels. I actually just took a video that I've already created where I'm showing showing them how to do a proof of service on a small claims case, right? I was like, I can crush and do this really well. So I'm going to do this on my channel. So, I branded everything 1, 2, 3. It's all blue. It's all whatever. And so let's go through and see. I didn't do anything to prepare this part. All I did was put the link in. Okay. All I did was put the link in and say go. Okay. So one thing I messed up at that I got to fix that I got to I'll show you guys how to fix here too is can I steal the link, original link? No. Okay. So let me go back to YouTube. So what you want to do, I'm glad that this happened so I could show you guys what to do. So so what you do actually is you switch account. Let me go to my YouTube account here. Dun, dun, dun. Hi, my name is Mike Reed. There we go. So what I want to do is I want to take the small claims link and now assuming this was like, let's assume this is like a your real post, the one that I showed you, like doing every 60 seconds thing, it'll clip out each of those 60 seconds for you automatically. And then you could just come over here. I'm just going to do this again. Paste. Yeah. So what I forgot to do is to tell it what to do. So before you hit get clips in one click, you want to come down here and you want to tell it, hey, these need to be less than 60 seconds. 30 to 59 seconds. Because remember, we're primarily optimizing for YouTube. So let AI detect, front time frame, all this stuff is fine. You can change some of these colors to match your brand. I changed it to orange, right? So green and yellow are good just in general to highlight letters, but orange is my brand. So I save that. I saved it as default, but it still does whatever it wants. So unfortunately, that's going to take a minute, but I want to show, I'll go back into here and show you. So what you can do is you can watch it. My name is Michael Reed, and I'm the president and CEO at 123efile.com. I'm really excited about this series. We're going to be helping. Okay, so it's a minute and 11 seconds, which will still work on most platforms except YouTube. And it'll zoom in on the thing to make sure it shows your face. So see, we're learning, even I'm learning things as we go here. So the one important thing to know, if you're serving a business. Okay, so there's some good content here, which sometimes I will share if it's really good. I'm saying some really good stuff, but I don't like that it doesn't even show what I'm doing, right? So there's not really anything I could do to edit this. What I can do is I can edit what part where it comes in, what part where it goes out, right? So I can say, I could also edit this, by the way. I could say, you know what? I really like this one. I messed up and forgot to do the settings for less than 60 seconds. So I could come over here and go like that, right? I could see how it's 106 now. I could come over here and drag this down. It's not that difficult. For those of you guys that are like, oh my gosh, what is he trying to get us to do here? It's actually pretty easy. Once you kind of see where things are, you could get this, I promise. Okay, I'm messing this up. But you get the idea. I can actually zoom out here. Look, I could zoom out here. And I can make this shorter. Once you get it down, like I'm having to mess with this. This is why I don't like messing with this. I actually just like, I'm just gonna go out. Let's see if this other one finished. Da-da-da. Okay, it's only 6%, so 28 minutes. So I'll show you a couple things. Let's find one that's less than 60 that shows me. Remember, I'm doing a screen share showing how to do a proof, so there's not a whole lot of times where I'm on the camera fully. But let me just show you. No, there's one other time here. Here we go. Get your personalized video, help with e-filing. If you have any questions, comment them below. I would love to make a video just for you. And if you are new to e-filing and you would like me to do a special presentation just to your staff, teaching them how to use the system and answering questions, feel free to reach out to me at service@123efile.com. Thank you so much, and we'll see you guys on the next episode. So it's not a great, it's okay example, but of a hook story offer. There's no real hook, right? So when you create your reels, if you use StreamYard and you're creating those reels and when you're planning it out, you're planning out those 30 things you're going to talk about, having it, I guess you could call it a sound bite. If you ever look on the news, they'll take a sound bite from something somebody says. If you ever notice, some people who are really good at talking, they will say they give a lot of speeches or whatever. They will talk in sound bites because they know that's how they're going to be displayed. So instead of ranting on about something where it's almost impossible to clip a sound bite from, they will say things in a way and then stop, you know. I've always been really good at speaking. Ever since I was a little kid, my dad said XYZ, and that's honestly why I ended up becoming an actor. And they just stop because they know that's a soundbite. And now someone can say, hey, because of his dad, blah, 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 right? And so they take that soundbite. So that's a kind of what you're doing here. You ever wonder what a process server actually does? Yeah, like emphasize. And then someone might stop and go, yeah, what do they actually do? Okay, understanding the role of a process server in legal proceedings. Well, when they're knocking on your door, they're actually not just trying to harass you. They're actually trying to notify you of a legal case that is pending against you. Yes, somebody's suing you, but if you don't know about it, imagine if we lived in a world or a country where someone could sue you without you being notified. That's not the case in this great United States. What happens is you get notified and now you can go and tell your side of the story in court. To learn more about blah, blah, blah of what we do here at 123 Legal Support, comment below 123 and I will send you a link to some free resources. Boom, 60 seconds roughly. That's a soundbite. That's an example of what you could do with each of these. So I just kind of came up with something on the fly, right? Which you can do, but if you're not great at that, then just write it down. Even ask ChatGPT. Watch. Yeah, you can come over here, which I know most of you guys know this, but you could come over here and you could say, write actually create a summary of this. The summary. Let's see what it does. Yeah, plays a crucial role in the legal support system, ensuring legal documents. So I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't do that. Not for social media. But you could pull from this. Service is essential to uphold due process, which guarantees that all parties are informed of legal act. Pretty much what I said. They get an opportunity to respond, say their side of the story. Process service left. Yeah, you guys get the idea. You can, if you're not sure what to say, ask ChatGPT specifically. Hey, can you expand on this? Yeah, I think you guys get that. That makes sense. Any questions so far? I'm gonna show you guys how it posts. So if I want to edit it, I could edit it. and if not, I want to share it. This is where it gets really cool, okay? And this is where you'll spend a lot of your time. So you create the content on whatever platform you want. You post it on YouTube. If you can tell up here, it actually lets you do it. You can do it in different places. You can a Rumble, Zoom, oh, even a Zoom link. Okay. So if you already have a Zoom account, you could do Zoom and just hit record. And once the recording's finished inside of your Zoom account, you could post the Zoom link in here. That's actually really helpful. So you wouldn't have to have StreamYard if you had Zoom. Okay. StreamYard's just good because you can go live and stuff, but you can go live with YouTube too. So there you go. So it usually takes about 20-30 minutes if you do like an hour-long deal, which is what I like to do. I like to do like an hour because out of 60 tries, I'm going to get roughly 40 or 45 or 50 that I like. So you can skip through these and just find the ones that you like. And once you find them, you just come over here to share. And I have multiple social accounts in here. So I'm going to uncheck these first because it remembers the ones that you had checked before. And I'm just going to select the ones that say 1, 2, 3. If you only have one company, I guess it would make it a little bit easier for you to do this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So there's my Twitter account, my LinkedIn page, which you want to create if you don't have a LinkedIn page associated with your LinkedIn profile. Same thing with Facebook, right? YouTube. Here's YouTube. Okay, and now here's what's cool is you got these hashtags. It automatically comes up with the best, most searched and ranked. If you guys have any experience with this, you know how powerful this is. So I'm gonna hit regenerate. I'm gonna make it more. Let's make it more catchy. Okay, we're gonna regenerate. What more catchy looks like. That seems odd, I think. Master e-filing insights. Get your questions answered. Boom. I love it with some little emojis. Join us as we dive into personalized e-filing support, addressing your questions and providing expert insights. Okay. Smoother tax submissions. Okay, so that's not okay. So you got to read through some of them because it doesn't now. E-filing is actually a common term for e-filing your taxes. How funny. Okay. We're going to try again. And if it doesn't do it, we got to, okay, so it took away taxes. Okay. Get personal help for e-filing today. Love it. A little globe. That's what my video has in it. A little globe. Join our interactive session where we provide, okay. Tech tips. Okay, that's better. Join pretty much the same. So this is all the platforms. You can change it. So what's really cool on Instagram is you can't really put links on Instagram. So you can say, for this next tool, I'm going to show you what to do. So you can put here whatever your call to action is. What did I say? I said in the video at the end, my call to action was if you want me to come, um, you know, teach your team directly, because that's what I want. I want paralegals to reach out to me and say, hey, yes, we actually have a team and we're using your software now, and we'd love for you to come teach us. Sometimes they'll just try your software to see if it's any good because they know you'll come out and teach everybody how to use it because they're getting all their filings rejected or whatever. And if you're in an area that doesn't do e-filing, well, what's your niche, right? What's your niche? So this is my niche primarily with 1, 2, 3. All right, it's 1, 2, 3 e-file. We do thousands of e-filings every month, and a big part of our stuff is process serving, but most of it's e-filing, right? It's become that way, which I'm super grateful for. All right, so what you're going to put here is a call to action at the very top because that's what's going to show on most platforms. So we're going to put here, no, not on YouTube, because YouTube will have links. You could put link in bio. So pay attention because there's two different things you're going to do. Schedule a meeting, right? Something like that. So there's two different things you're going to do. You're going to say link in bio because this is your call to action. On Instagram, we're going to do something different. So I'll come back to Instagram. LinkedIn, we're going to do link in bio as well. And I'm going to show you why here in a second. Where did Facebook go? Did Facebook not go? Did I not connect my Facebook account? Okay, so X is the same. All right, so what we're gonna say, yeah, link in bio, schedule a meeting. What happened to my Facebook account? Let's see. Oh, I guess I didn't link it yet. Dang it. All right, that's all right. So Facebook's really, really important. It lets you do links too. So what we're gonna do here is for Facebook and Instagram, for the moment being, we're just gonna do Instagram. Get personalized help for e-filing today. So we're gonna say comment, let's see, 1, 2, 3 to get personal help for you to get personal help today. Something like that, right? So what happens is comment below. Let's put below. No, we'll leave it like that. Okay. So what happens is we're going to use another tool that's going to make this completely automated for us. So what's really cool is you can publish now, which I recommend doing if you haven't published for a while. Get like 4 or 5 going so that they can start to see who your audience is. But once you've done that, you can actually start to schedule things out. You could say, okay, I have my post for today. Let's do posts for tomorrow. And so I always recommend doing like a 3-hour block between each one. So you can go 3, 6, 9, candy line, right? So you got 6. I'm sorry, that's a 0. Okay, 6 a.m. And then you hit schedule. And then when you come back, you'll do Wednesday. I actually like to do all the 6 a.m.s first and then come back for the whole month. So you'll do like 1, 2, 3. So you have 30 days, right? So that's 30 videos. Then you come back after the 6 a.m. one. And the reason why 6 a.m., some people are like, well, don't you want to post when everybody's looking at stuff? Kinda, but it's actually better if you post early because the post will have a higher chance to get some likes and comments if it's a good post. And when it gets some likes and comments, then it will just naturally rank way better by the time 3 o'clock comes around during the day. The other thing is just to post something right at 3 o'clock, right? So that's what I do. I do 6, 9, 12, 3, and 6. That's what I like to do. But if you're only going to do two posts a day, I'd recommend doing 6 and noon. 6 and noon. People are at lunch. Okay. So I would just hit schedule. In this case, I want to see it right away. So we're actually going to X out of this and we're going to hit publish now. All right. So it's going to go publish. Failed to post to Twitter, the limit for posting during beta phase. So beta is Twitter X is just in beta phase right now for this tool. So okay, so it's okay. It's already posted. So if I wanted to freak out about it, I could check it out right there. So let's go ahead and look at right away, pretty much right away. Let me see. Hi, my name is Mike Reed and pretty much right away. There you go. It's still thinking, it's still loading. So once it loads, you basically it posts and it loads in your account right away. And so if you're doing this and you're scheduling them out into the future, they will start showing up here. We'll check on this again in a second. They will start showing up here. And so if you're just scrolling down and you're like, well, this is good content, boom, this is good content. And what happens is, let me see if I can go to Instagram really quick. I want you to see the full picture here. Instagram. Perfect. So I guess I'm following Mighty Process Servers is following because that's the first one that shows up here. All right. So comment 1, 2, 3 to get personal help today. If so, what we're gonna do is, can I comment? 1, 2, 3. Okay. So you post 1, 2, 3. So here it is. It's gonna show up. So anybody who likes these hashtags, it's gonna show up for. E-file success, webinar. So some of these aren't necessarily related to the legal industry, but you're telling Instagram and all the platforms you're posting on, this is kind of what I'm talking about. So it will start to rank it for with people who've liked other similar things, right? So here's one where I'm doing a screen share and the tool is automatically scanning the across and showing what I'm talking about, which is pretty cool. Okay. So I hope you guys are understanding the whole purpose of this is for I'm not really happy with this, to be honest. Like I want it to be, I was like, it's kind of zoomed in on me because of what I was doing. And it's after I cut my hair, which looks terrible. But anyways, I'm just self-conscious. Like it sounds like Jessica, you're like, how do I not be on? That's kind of, we all naturally look at ourselves and go like, I'm not sure I want to be on. I'm looking at that right now thinking like, I want to redo this. But the key here is to ignore that and to just do it anyway. Because as you do it, you'll get some haters and you'll get some people who will hire you. And the more you do it, the more haters, the more will hire you. And before you know it, you're like, who cares what the haters say? Because I get so much work out of this, you know. It's just the way it works. So now, okay, so let me finish this. So somebody comments 1, 2, 3, which I think I did. Yep, 1, 2, 3. And so what you want to do is the next step here is ManyChat. I'm gonna talk to you guys about ManyChat. A lot of the Instagram influencers you've probably seen use it. You don't have to do what they do, but you should understand how it works because you can automate it and you can do a lot of really cool things with it. So before I go into ManyChat, talking about how we're gonna, and when somebody comments on one of our posts, like on Instagram, like I just did, how can we have them be directed to our website without us ever having to do anything with Instagram, never having to log into Instagram? That's the goal, right? Because I want to go have conversations with random people on Instagram. Half of them are spam or something else, right? So I would much rather have a tool that will just communicate with them immediately, telling them, hey, this is where you need to go, this is what you need to do. And if the 1 out of 100 people who are going to engage with me on social, on Instagram at least, will they be directed to the right place? And that's the goal, right? And a lot of paralegals and those types, 30s, 20s, 30s, 40s years old are on Instagram. Instagram was the Snapchat of the night, of the 2000s, you know. And so all those guys now are making buying decisions and stuff. So, do you guys have any questions before I move on? Comments, concerns?
Not right now.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna have to read that later, Jeff. I don't know if Jeff's still in here, but I see he posted where the skinning a cat came from. I'm actually really intrigued to know that. All right, let's keep going. We're making progress. You had something, Ryan?
No, I just realized my camera was off.
Yeah, no worries, man. All right. So having Opus, I know we just did one post, okay? But understanding the power of being able to post so many clips, if you understand just what it takes to put captions like this on a video. If you have any questions, comment them below. I would love to make a video just for you. And if you how it adds the emphasis to the words are in bold. I'm telling you, I've done my own captions on using different tools. I did nothing to add captions to this. It even adds emojis. New to e-filing and you would like me to do a special presentation just to your staff, teaching them. So I can't emphasize enough the power of when someone can't, especially paralegals, can't have their audio on, but they're looking at their phone and they're scrolling and they see this, they see the text and they can read it. Are they going to jump? No, I'm telling you, it's such a small percentage, but this is brand marketing 101. Somebody comments with your niche. I actually have a book, California e-filing support. I've never finished it. It's always been kind of a rough draft, but I'm thinking about finishing it and doing it as my call to action to get my complete A to Z guide on how to e-file in California. Comment below guide or something like that, because that's very niche, it's very specific. So if you're a paralegal and you keep getting things rejected and you're that type of person like a bookworm, they're gonna do it, right? And so um comment below guide. I'm also including when I'm also including, when you get the guide, a quick 15-minute presentation on my website where I actually walk you through how to use our system, right? Because I want them to actually use the e-filing system. So if you're doing judgment recovery, maybe it's like, to actually get your judgments, once you have your judgment, you think that the everything's over, but actually there's a whole process for actually collecting that money, and that's what I do. I'm an expert in that. Click comment below. So there's click the link below is something you always hear, but with ManyChat, it's actually made it so much easier to get people to engage, because when they comment, remember, when they comment, that's engagement. So Facebook sees that engagement and Instagram sees that engagement and says, whoa, we have to show this to more people. And then ManyChat will automatically reply to their comment for you. I didn't realize this, but the Instagram, so I haven't tied 123. I only have tied together Mighty Process Server. So let me show you an example. Oh crap. Let's see if it works. I want to show you an example of what it is when you comment on. I don't need to do all that. Let's just click on it. Okay, here we go. So inside the community of Mighty Process Server. Oh, that's crazy that all these white ones showed up on the same. That's weird. Okay. So if I comment something, let's just do one right here. So if I comment right here, which I haven't been pushing people to comment, but if I comment and I say, well, what's skip tracing? Let's just say I did a call to action. They could get which I'm going to start doing a lot, is the 10K challenge. Um, you know, Mighty challenge. I'm going to start calling people to say, Mighty challenge. And when they comment, it's already set up for when they comment to reply. Let's see if it works. Dun, dun, dun. Might take a second. Let's see. I think I do have a 30-second delay set. So you actually can set this up. So what you do is you come over here to automations inside of here, and there's certain things that you want it to do. You say, okay, whenever somebody comments, or whenever somebody direct messages me, reply with this link. Whenever someone replies to my Instagram story, reply with this link. So I want to show you some of these. Convert any of your Instagram comments into sales. So these are different automations. They're not that hard, you guys. It walks you through how to do it, right? It's super easy. So what happens is the person will comment, and then they'll get a direct reply. Thanks for your comment. This is in the DM. So it's not a comment, it's the DM. So it says, thanks for your reply. Here's a special link to my premium. So let me go look at my messages real quick. Let's see here. Oh, requests. I don't know who those people are. Dun, 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 dun. There's a micro read. No. Okay, general. All these spammers trying to get in my inbox. So I do all this from my phone, by the way. So that's why I'm having trouble finding this. But yeah, what they'll do is it'll automatically send me a message. I'm just trying to find where you see it in here. But inside of ManyChat, you can actually see all of the conversations that post as well. So let's see, Instagram, you, me, oh, yeah, it's strange. You go back to Instagram and see, or we'll move on if this doesn't show up right away. That's what happens is you comment, and I might have to mess with the settings a little bit, but ManyChat, essentially, whenever somebody comments on your stuff, it'll automatically send them a reply. And you gotta tinker with it a little bit sometimes. Oh, it's this one. Let me see. Okay, so it's just not working on the thing. So I'll have to tinker with it. But basically, inside the automations, you set it up, and it'll just do it. See, look, it says 2 runs. Let me see. Let's see here. So it's only showing those two right now. Okay. So if I direct message, it'll do something else. You see the different automations. If I direct message, let's see. So whenever somebody sends a direct message, it'll automatically reply. So this is just one of those tools that I don't think is like you have to do, but if you want to be hands off, if you really just want to be hands off about your Instagram and your TikTok and your Facebook accounts, you can set them up. You can post once a month. You could schedule these out for the whole month. Then you could use ManyChat. ManyChat's just like an extra thing there, so you just don't have to worry about replying. Instagram and Facebook will have an automated reply thing built in, so you don't have to pay for it. But it's very limited. It's just like, hey, thanks for contacting us. Visit this link to learn more about our company, which you could do that. That's an easy, free way to do it. Just ManyChat will actually reply with a comment once you get it dialed in. It'll actually reply with a comment and then direct message them a link. And so you can customize it a lot more than you can these other ones. So that's enough. That's enough for that. If you guys have any questions about ManyChat or Opus, let me know. This is the
Have you ever
social.
used Loom? I used that for training video once.
Loom, yeah, I use Loom all the time. As a matter of fact, a lot of the videos that I'm going to make inside of school are going to be on Loom because you can actually, school will actually let me embed either YouTube or Loom or Vimeo. I think it's Vimeo, I think they call it. So you're gonna see all these little videos that I make doing a screen share is gonna be on Loom. The Mac doesn't really like Loom very well. I have to use Chrome. Safari doesn't like it, but yeah, Loom is awesome. Loom is one of my favorite tools.
So what's the difference between that and StreamYard?
StreamYard is more for going live, and it adds a lot of tools that you can see these things I'm putting on the sides, or like let me see.
And Opus is just like a different tool that you use for the same thing for StreamYard, or
No, so look, let me see if I can find it. See if I can see this. So you see like here at the bottom, I can put stuff, I can actually like do screen overlays. So you could do screen overlays like intros. You could just click a button and it'll play a video intro right in the middle of being live on Facebook and it'll go live on like 8 different platforms. Like if you want to go live and you want it to be like nice and well produced and stuff like that, but still be live with it and be able to put text across the bottom, this StreamYard's the best. Loom is the best if you just want to record a video that you can send to somebody privately. It is. You could use Loom to also download the videos after you've recorded them. So if you're just trying to record a long form video and download it to put it on YouTube so that you can put it on Opus to create the short clips, short videos, then that works too.
okay, I understand about the Opus now. Okay.
Yeah, Opus is just the Opus solves the problem of like, hey, how do I create short form content to direct people to my long form content and to direct people to my website? Nowadays most content is people that things that people are watching is on a short form like this. Right. They're watching short form. Like me, I'll go on YouTube or a podcast if I'm listening to something passively, like if I'm just working here and zoned out and I just want to be really focused, but I want to have something playing in the background. I might have YouTube on, I might have a podcast on or an audiobook. But if I'm actively looking at my phone and scrolling, which I don't do, I try not to do, this is what I'm consuming. And this is what 90% of people consume is they're just consuming short form content until they find something they think oh, that's different. That's interesting. So that's why you got to create short form content. If you don't, then a lot of people just won't find you. Like I have heard somebody say one time that they wouldn't even, I think it was Joe Rogan. He said that he would not have ever even known who Gary Vee was if Gary Vee didn't create short form content because all his videos were like 3 hours long, and he would have never clicked on a 3 hour long video to watch it. But because he saw little clips of him on the shorts, he was like, let me see a little bit more about this guy. And he already watched like a dozen of his short form videos. I was like, okay, this guy's got something good to say. Right? That's why the shorts are so important, because YouTube calls them shorts, Instagram and Facebook call them reels, TikTok calls them crazy. What's up, Jackie? I didn't see you on here. Oh, you're muted. You're still muted. But you're looking good. Thanks for coming.
Okay, here I am.
Here you are. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. I was kind of catching up on some of the other questions and posts and stuff, and time got past me.
That's okay. Thanks for coming and
Mhm.
putting your Houston Silva process. Are you going to the conference?
Yes, I'm gonna be looking into booking my flight and my room and stuff probably at the end of this week.
Yeah, where is it? It's over in Dallas, Fort Worth.
Yes,
Okay, you gonna book a flight, huh? What is it, an hour flight for you?
45 minutes.
Nice, nice.
Or
Hmm.
megabus, I don't know. It depends.
Well, I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna be actually we're going all out there. We love Texas. The Texas people are so good to us. So we're
Yeah.
gonna Mighty Website Builders doing a booth there. So love to see you.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I know a lot of this social media stuff, guys, you might think like, oh, is it gonna give me anything? You have to understand a lot of social media is just branding. It's building a brand and making a ruckus that people will notice you. What's up,
Uh,
Manny? Oh, you're muted. You're still muted.
Okay, so while you were talking about this, I went on to Chat GPT and I asked it to make 20 questions for interviewing a process server in rural El Dorado County, California. And it just like popped off 20 questions. So if you ever see, like, there's kind of been a thing about doing this. So I don't know, like, there's probably video you could just buy, like, besides using Joe Rogan, but some of you may have seen, sorry, I'm babbling. Some of you may have seen like supplement advertisements, and it'll go back and forth between like, say, me and Joe Rogan, or, some other famous person. It's just
Hmm.
taking their reaction, and then you're putting your
Yeah,
face to it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, but yeah, I just asked ChatGPT to make 20 questions if I were going to interview somebody, and it came up with, I mean, in 5 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, ChatGPT will give you all the content stuff you need, but
Yeah.
what you're talking about, you could use AI, you could do what's called deepfake, and you can actually it would take some editing, but not too bad. Not too bad. And you could do a deepfake voice changer of Joe Rogan, and you could just have somebody say, what is it like to serve in El Dorado? Like you're just a process server, and you'll have Joe Rogan there with his microphone, how he is always like this. He's always like this, and
Yeah.
you could totally have him doing the questions. You could.
Yeah. You could be like, one time I was doing this, and he'd do his, oh my gosh, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, he's like, oh, how he does
Yeah.
the thing. Yeah,
So
yeah,
anyway, but it's just now you're help because I know these little things, but you're helping me kind of put it together so it's not so intimidating. It's not like we have to do all of it, but we can pick and choose what we feel we can
mhm.
handle, or
Yeah,
that, of course, what would help us, right?
yeah. And you'll see me do it. You'll see me do it. I know about it as a marketer. I've taught it to attorneys that were my clients when I used to charge a lot of money for social media marketing. I did that for a while for 5 or 6 clients, and it's a lot of work to get people to actually take action on what they're doing. So it's much easier for me in this capacity to just teach it to you. You can watch the replays. You can use the tools if you want. And if you don't want, that's okay too. You can go and just do the one or two things that do resonate with you. But I promise you that everything works. It really does. Some things will work better than others. Prospecting is probably my favorite thing. If you just want more clients, start calling more clients. And we're going to get into that next month in October. We're going to just the whole month of October, just prospecting, banging the phones. You guys are going to be like, can we just do marketing again? But we're going to get marketing out of the way, because marketing is one of those things that when you do start prospecting, you can point back to your marketing. You're like, oh, I have that show. You made it, once you actually start having a conversation with somebody and they seem like they don't want to get off the phone right away, you can have a conversation with them about, I actually have a show where I teach process attorneys about process serving and some of the laws here because they're changing, blah, 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 whatever. And you say, could I ask you just a few questions, or maybe you would like to be a guest on my show or something? You get a paralegal on your show. Paralegals will want to watch your show. You get an attorney on your show, attorneys are going to want to watch your show. And I highly recommend everyone starts a show. It doesn't have to be a crazy, thing. It could just be a simple, it doesn't have to be called a show either. It could be called a podcast, it could be called a, you know, Jackie's hot take on the legal industry in Houston, Texas, and she's got, a quick clip that she's going to share once a week or whatever. It could literally be whatever it is that you want to do.
There's
Okay.
really not a lot of stuff on social media. Like, I looked on TikTok and it's like you and then that one dude from Sacramento that
Yeah.
serves Microsoft like all day,
Yeah.
every day.
hmm
But he's got his thing, right?
He's always like this, coming up. Can you imagine
Yeah.
serving people and just being like, hello, are you John? Are you John? I don't know. I just think it's danger. I don't knock that, whatever is content. But
No,
I
he's got his thing. Like, I mean, it's not a bad deal to just serve Microsoft all day and just put the papers in the basket all day,
yeah.
especially if you live close. But he, he's him and you. There's not a lot of people. Like when I first got into prospects, the first thing I did, and I'm 47, so I'm no young kid. The first thing I did was start searching on Instagram and TikTok. I was looking up hashtags, and there's not a lot of content out there.
No, because this industry, unlike even notary, it's very similar to the notary. When you really think, oh, I got a little lag here. We're very similar to the notary industry in the fact that we provide a service. Can you guys hear me?
Mhm.
Okay, just my picture's lagging. So we provide a service, and it's not a service that's like an attorney. We're not an attorney. We're not the guy grandstanding. We're not the medical surgeon. If you wanted to relate this to the medical industry, we're like a medical assistant, or a stenographer, I don't know, somebody that's not the person that gets all the credit, basically. And so a lot of people will discount our service, but actually it's a service that is very, very needed. Attorneys that try to farm it out or keep it in-house or farm it to sheriffs, they're always disappointed. They need a private process server. And when you do a good job, it makes a big difference in their business. Their business flourishes when they have a process server who actually delivers things on time, who gives a proof of service on time, and has integrity. And so it's exciting. Once you get that part of it, it's exciting. And then you're like, oh, this is a business. This is not being a process server where it's a part-time thing that I'm going to get rid of as soon as I can. No, it's a business that you're going to grow over time that will actually have value that you could eventually sell. And maybe you don't sell it. Maybe you give it to your children. Maybe it's something that dies with you. Who knows? But it's something that you can continue to do that it can actually provide you a very nice living. And it has for me. And I did pivot and went into e-filing and stuff like that. So don't let that discourage you. That was just my niche because California became mandatory for e-filing. But you could pick any niche. You could, even having notary as a niche could be a thing. It's kind of more of like a side, but judgment recovery, evictions, legal photocopy, all of these kind of niches are great to put with process serving because they're all things that you're going to run into and come across as a process server. So cool. So when it comes to social media, I love the feedback, I love it. The question, I think, let's start from the beginning. Where are you going to record your content? Your long form content is what they call it. Where are you going to record your long form content where you can sit just like I am in the middle of the screen, back a little bit so it's not so pixelated like that video I just showed you, and actually just and talk, because the system, the thing Opus I showed you, it will clip you out in a real nice way. If you're too close, then it'll be too pixelated. But if you're back enough, it'll actually make a nice video for you, and it will automatically put the subtitles on there, automatically read what you're saying and say like, hey, this is when he made a pretty good point, less than 60 seconds right here. Right. And so I actually highly recommend doing a video. I'm going to do one today where essentially you sit down and you go every 60 seconds, you give a sound bite. Like I just showed you on ChatGPT. Just sit down and be like, you are your brand. You are your brand. So when you try to farm it out to somebody else, you can. If you want to look at yourself as like a big company, that's what I tried to do initially when I started 123, is I said, I'm always the face of my brand. This time I want to farm it out to Fiverr. I want to do everything I can to use AI, use all these tools so that it's like almost don't even know I own it. Right. Because I want to eventually be able to sell it for millions of dollars. So I want it to be separate from my brand. I don't want people to think that it's worth less because it's losing me or something like that. This is what a lot of CEOs think. But the reality is, I'm not Jeff Bezos. I own a process serving company. If somebody ever buys it, they're probably going to buy it because I promoted it, because they knew about it, because I screamed it from the rooftops, right? And I have contracts and clients and income that I can prove. That's the stuff that matters. So the basic tools are out there. This is what I told you inside of the community. Create some long form content, use ChatGPT to help you figure out what to say. Make sure as you're recording it, you create little sound bites. There's two ways to do this. One way is you just have a conversation like we're having today, and you'll see a lot of my content on Mighty Process Server is exactly like that, where the Opus will just automatically clip a long form video that I make that's maybe 2 hours, and I'll get 30 clips out of there because there were 30 times where I said something that was in a solid soundbite. The other way to do it is be very intentional about it and say, I'm going to make 30 60-second clips. Okay, and go. 60 seconds, you're going to say something. Pause. 60 seconds, you're going to say something else. And you just have these clips that you make so that it'll do the work for you. And then you take it and you just schedule them out for the whole month. Right? And so now you have one post for each day of the month using Opus. And if you want to use ManyChat, you can. I don't recommend it for everybody if you don't want to deal with it. It does cost you like $29 a month. And is it 29? I think it might be 14. It's really cheap, but if you want to have an Instagram and Facebook replies automated, then you would use it. Okay. And get people to comment, create some more engagement. So it'll comment for you too. I know I was trying to show it live, but I got to go in there and figure out what's going on with it. I just set it up and it worked a few times. I might need to activate or turn something on. So I'll do a separate video just about ManyChat that you guys can watch inside the community. Do we have any other feedback or questions? Those are the tools, automation I wanted to go over today. For those of you guys that don't know, that is your web. YouTube, the way that YouTube sees this is the last thing I'll show you when it comes to this. I think it's super important that you understand why shorts are so important. YouTube shorts. Okay. When you have a YouTube short, let me just click here. Yeah, I'll click right here. Can I pause this? Yeah. So with YouTube Shorts, you can actually add a link here that takes them to a long form video, which I haven't done on here yet because I'm testing and seeing which content resonates the best. But as I get to see who comments and who likes which videos the best, I can actually add a link here that will take people to a longer video. And so if you come over here to my longer videos, I could choose one of these longer videos on my channel. I can choose one of these longer videos on my channel to make all of the shorts point to. So if 1 month you're like, you know what, my niche is evictions. Okay, this month my niche is evictions. So you can make one like 1 hour, 2 hour long video where you're like, today I'm going to talk to you guys about evictions from A to Z, why you need to worry about it, blah, blah, blah. And then what you do is you make this long video that you're like not too sure about. It's okay. You've done some planning, preparation, you made the video. Then what you do is you actually go to Fiverr or to I like Fiverr for this stuff. Go to Fiverr and say, can you cut this, edit it, add some B-roll, make this look awesome? And they'll do it. And then what you do is you take that masterpiece, because it's once a month, right? Just once a month. Then you take that masterpiece once you get it back, where it has like B-roll of somebody as you're saying something. Sometimes B-roll will come over. You'll have your intro and outro created as well on Fiverr. And then you take that and you clip that up 30 times. So then you have that, you have these other reels you've created, and now you have like two or three posts per day. I know it seems like a lot, guys, but just take one bite at a time, and you'll start to see that it's really not that hard. You could sit down in one day, once you have everything set up, you could sit down in one day and knock out everything. Today, I want to talk about evictions. Boom. So you have this long video about evictions. And when you use Opus, Opus will take out a bunch of little clips where you've said things about evictions. You know, oh, well, maybe there's a time where you told a story about where you knocked on a door. Yeah. So I knocked on the door. It'll just start from the beginning of that story or when it makes sense. You say, well, yeah, so when I knocked on the door, the person answered, they weren't wearing any clothes, whatever. You can make it an interesting, some of these stories that we deal with as process servers, and it'll take that 60-second clip so that you can easily just go share, schedule, done. And from somebody who did all of the stuff manually before and took the time and about 2 hours of every single day, I can tell you that that tool for like the $29 that it costs, oh my gosh, it just saves me so much time. And so if you are going to do shorts and you are going to be out there, like Mandy's saying, there's nobody out there doing it. There's a couple people who do a couple things important and that do this, that are millionaire process servers. Mike Kern, Chad Barger, Lance Randall. These guys, maybe their faces aren't always on it, but they get these videos, they put them on YouTube, and YouTube ranks for their local area for process server or e-filing or out-of-state deposition subpoenas, whatever their specialty is, whatever their niche is, right? And then they call them because they found that video. I've made some videos for Kern down in LA, and he said they're just doing so well. They bring him so much business because YouTube is the second largest search engine. Google's the first, and YouTube is the second. So if you understand that, you understand the value of creating content on YouTube. And I've only just gotten started with Mighty Process Server. We have 104 videos, 62 subscribers. So it'll be cool to, if you're watching this in a year from now, watching the replay, to see where it has gone, because I've only just gotten started and I could see that YouTube is starting to share. At first I'd have one or two views, and now there's hundreds of views on each of the videos of the short form videos. That's the other thing, is YouTube really pushes their videos out. Some of them have more than others, right? Like this one has 408, but then some of the newer ones only have 2, right? So it's crazy how the algorithm will push some out and it won't push others. And so you want to just keep creating content so that YouTube will rank you. This will be the last thing I'll share on this, and then any questions you guys have. There was a video of an ocean spray. I just got to share this with you guys, okay? I just share this with you to help you really understand why social media, organic, because that's what we've been talking about this whole time, is organic social media. Because we could talk about paid, we'll go over paid social media and ads and stuff like that in future videos. But today we're talking about organic free marketing, right? So ocean spray skateboard. Yeah, immediately. So this guy makes this short video. 23 million views. When he made it, let me just watch it. Let's just watch it real quick.
You want to breathe out.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So 60 seconds. He creates this thing. It gets 817,000 likes and 23 million impressions or 23 million views. Every single every single store that holds Ocean Spray juice sold out in the country in the few days after that video was made. And he did not make that video for Ocean Spray. And he made that video for free on YouTube. And he shared it to other places after that, where TikTok, it got over 100 million views. So when we talk about this, this guy's drinking a video. He's just having a good time. He's playing a cool tune behind it. It's a vibe, right? And so I love what the way your mind is going, Mandy, when you talk about Joe Rogan and AI and stuff like that, because that's actually what people will engage with, and they'll be surprised by it. Like, is this real? Or especially people who may know you, or they've heard of you, or they've sent you work. They're like, wow, how much clout does this person that I know actually have that they would be interviewed by Joe Rogan? When they find out it's not true, it's like, oh, whatever. Well, that's kind of funny that you're able to do that. How much ingenuity, how clever that you did that, right? So it's kind of like with this. The guy created content. We can't say why exactly it went live or why it went viral. And so I'm not saying that your videos are going to go viral, but if you make enough videos, they will. I made some videos with Process Server Daily, my first company. I made some videos with my kids where we acted out serving. I don't know why my video is lagging. They were just teenagers, but we did one where one refused service. He drop served her in this office, and then he followed him out and like threw it at the car as he got in and drove off. It was literally 60-second clip where I like planned it out with them and stuff, and they did it in my actual office. And is as if he served him in the office. And then as he drove off, my son, like, peace sign. He was like 17 years old, and he like drove off. He's an adult now. They're both adults now, but and I ran the ad to that, and it got a ton of comments and likes and stuff. And after I got a ton of comments and likes, I started running ads to it, and I started boosting it on Facebook, and the thing got 36,000 views, and I think I might have spent like $50 on ads because it already had like a mini virality to it. And so when it comes to social media, you don't have to do what I just said. You can just make video posts where you're creating valuable content. And at some point, one will get enough views. Like you saw that one that I just showed you on YouTube. It had 448 views or whatever. Why? Why did it have that when the other one next to it's got 2? You don't know. So you just keep posting and you keep posting and you keep posting content. And sometimes you're going to regurgitate the same content in a different way. And then YouTube is going to go, let's give this video a shot. Let's give this one a shot. Let's give that one a shot. And then I want you to imagine for a second, I'll end it on this. I want you to imagine you're in a room. It could be the room you're in now. It could be another room that's a little bit bigger. Just think about a room that you're in. And I want you to imagine 20 people standing in that room with you right now. That's a lot of people in most rooms. 50 people, 100 people, 200 people, 448 people standing in that room. Now, who are those people? We don't know. Of course, that's the issue, right? You don't know how they're going to perceive you, but statistically speaking, you're going to get, especially if you're tagging legal services, law firm, lawyers in Houston, right? Houston lawyers, whatever your city, right? San Diego law firm, San Diego, you start to learn what those main hashtags are for your area and you put them in all your videos. And then people, the attorneys who follow those hashtags, which you can find, right? You can search those hashtags, just start typing them in. It'll start to tell you how many hashtags how many times someone has used that hashtag before. For those of you guys that are older like me, # is a hashtag. # is a hashtag. What do they call it now? What do they call it now? There's a new term for it. I'm like, why can't it just be a hashtag still? Anyways, so yeah, so do your hashtags and then you're going to create your videos and people are going to see them. And if you start getting, let me tell you, when you found success is when all of your videos are getting about 200 views. All of your shorts are getting about 200 views because what's happening is they've taken you from the ones and twos where they barely ever show your videos and they're like, all right, okay, there's a general population that always want to see his videos. Let's show it at least to those people. Not necessarily your subscribers, by the way. It's more based on the content. And so they're sharing it to the people who might want to see it. And then if it gets a like or a comment, then it's like, oop, let's show it to a percentage more, 12% more, 25% more, 50% more. And that's how it gets like a virality. When that Ocean Spray thing hit, is because he's like in or was he in Long Beach or Huntington Beach or something? It was in some place and where that's like it was like the vibe, and a lot of people were talking about it locally that's what was happening. And so a couple people shared it in some of those big groups, got a bunch of comments. So it's got a little bit of a local boost. And then this is what some people were saying. I don't know how true it is. But then because it got a little bit of a boost, YouTube shared it to, 100,000 more people. And then those people were like commenting and like sharing it. And it's a vibe. And then it just became viral. I mean, it's crazy. Like, I'm going to go get a skateboard and some ocean spray.
I think he was in Albuquerque, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he like this guy lived in like a trailer, like a little travel trailer, like on a relative's property, or you know what I mean, or something. Like he wasn't really, and this was during COVID too. And so that was probably the vibe is like, what are you gonna do? Like, I guess I'll ride by myself to the store and get a cranberry juice and ride home. So I think they bought him a truck and like he got hooked up, which was good because he kind of needed a little boost.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I've
but
seen
that
a
was
lot of
that
this
was
stuff.
one of the best. And then everybody made videos. They like remixed it or whatever and did their own thing, right?
Yeah, look at this. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Look at this. Here he is with Snoop Dogg. That's him with Snoop Dogg. Here these people are remaking his video, doing replays of his video, Ocean Spray, before they were famous, Dogface. Oh my gosh. So he just because that one video. What's another one? What's another one recently that was the Hawk Two girl? The Hawk girl, the one that they said like how do you keep your man happy or whatever? And she's like Hawk. Basically she spits on it. And so she became viral on social media. And now she's all over the place. She's been interviewed by all these big places. I'm like, because she talks about how she does a BJ. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's why she became famous. It's just like you can literally say anything. What the Kardashians, she got famous from a sex tape that got released. I was like, this is what we're glorifying in our world. Anyway, you can't argue with the way that social media, just the technical part of why things get shared and the technical part of once it gets a little bit of a boost. So as a process serving company, let's bring it back to that. As a process serving company, share your vanilla stuff. Just share a lot of it. Because what's going to happen is eventually one of them is going to hit. You're going to get 400 or 500 views. Then you're going to get 1,500 views. And if you are actually answering questions that your potential customers are asking on YouTube, which is what I do with the small claims, because when I did a lot of searching, like what are people searching for process server, it was like how to fill out a proof of service. So I was like, okay, I think this is more for process servers, but apparently a lot of law firms and legal service companies, they're actually Googling how to fill out a proof of service. So that's what I made. I actually made a video and it actually did very well. You know, it got I think a couple hundred views at least. And in our industry, you're not going to get millions of views unless you already have millions of followers. And if you have millions of followers and they're attorneys, you're making a lot of money because these people, attorneys, that's not the content they're consuming is not process servers. So again, prospecting is how we're going to get most of our customers, but we create enough content online that they're going to see us. They're going to at least know who we are in a local market. So Brad is over there. He's moving to Bakersfield. He's going to have Kern County. He's calling his company Kern Servers. If he creates some videos where he's saying, you know, at Kern Servers, this is how we serve. At Kern Servers, this is before you know it, it's only going to take a year or two, and every single attorney will have heard of Kern Servers because it's localized. It's very localized social media with local hashtags, industry specific hashtags. It's going to be noticed. Just have that confidence. If I stay local and relevant, I will eventually be noticed by them. It's building a brand locally. If you try to go the whole country, is nearly impossible unless you have such a niche like process serving. That's why I can do it. That's why I'm going to be able to do it with Mighty Process Server because it's such a niche. It's such a small industry profession that I can do it on a national scale. But if you're talking about all the attorneys, well, there's way more attorneys than there are process servers. Way more, especially in bigger cities, right? So it's just a matter of figuring out where your niche is and your location and what kind of content are you comfortable sharing. So in regards to not showing your face in content like that, inside of, oh shoot, I forgot to share. I said last thing like twice. Okay, last thing. Okay, last thing. All right, so this is good for anybody who wants to not come on internet. All right, so one thing you can do is you can edit clip. Okay, let's see if it'll let me do this. Check this out. Continue editing. So you can do a lot, okay? You could add your own B-roll, but one thing that Opus Clip lets you do is you could add it'll automatically read what I'm saying, and it will use AI and add B-roll over my video. Is this perfect? No. My name is Mike. It's not perfect at all, but what it does is it allows you to, let's see, did it add any? It's added it a couple times and was really good for me, but it's because of what I'm talking about. But you can add B-roll. As a matter of fact, you can take inside StreamYard when you go to make your video, instead of having you on the video, you could bring up you could upload a video that you hit play on when you hit record. So as soon as you hit record, you just hit replay and then hit play and then hit record, and they could play the B-roll the whole time you're talking. And if you don't even want to talk, you can go use some AI tools, which I'm going to do in a separate training. There's a couple of AI tools I want to teach you about, but they're going to do a little bit different things, right? But you can use Midjourney and a couple other tools. There's so many tools with AI now to create it. But like I said, the easiest thing to do that actually ends up being better for your company is just being the face and creating content that way. And then too, I want to encourage you too, when it comes to for content is interviewing folks. You know, I used to think like, oh man, if I could just get this one person on my show, it would just blow up my audience and blow up my career and all this. A lot of it is the content that you share, that you're being genuine, you're being yourself, and you're just sharing what it is you know and trying to be helpful. But bringing somebody on is not going to change your show that dramatically. But interviewing people actually is more about making a connection with that person. So I'm going to do a whole different training on just creating a show, a podcast, and how to automate that. And a big part of that is going to be using StreamYard. But I think you guys are going to love that because it's very automated. You just create the video, go live, and it will become a new podcast episode on all the platforms. So that's what I want to teach you guys about tomorrow. And I think it's going to be the relaunch of Mighty Process Server as well. So you guys will get to see how I'm making it, how I'm making Mighty Process Server, and like redoing it, and how basically once I do an interview with somebody and I hit end, that's it. I'm done. It'll automatically become a new podcast episode on all the platforms, and it's all automated. And I'll show you guys how I do that, and how actually really cool it is, because when you set things up on the front end, you schedule it with them, you go live with them, you have your little show with them, you end it, you had your intro and your outro, because you could just hit play with the intros and outros, and there you go. And now you have a show. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that tomorrow. So this is a big part of creating content. So this week we set some stuff up tomorrow. Keep working on getting your listings put in, like on all the different platforms. Start some kind of a content plan. Like, what's your content plan? I know a lot of people who teach what I just taught today, they'll do a content calendar, or they'll say, hey, here's your calendar, create your content on the calendar. That drives me crazy. If that works for you because you're a planner, then do it. I promise you it will help because you are a planner, then do it. But for me, I'm so much better of just sitting my butt in the seat and making content, and then testing it and see what works, doesn't work. And then I focus more on what works, right? ChatGPT will help give me some organization and planning, making sure that whatever it is I want to talk about is what I'm going to talk about. So good stuff, guys. Well, you have a great day. Do you guys have any questions for me? Any comments, questions, issues?
Yeah, what do you think? What is your thought on? Because I get some wacky stories from my own servers, and I even have a few myself. What do you think about? I mean, I know we don't go out there in the field with a camera and try to capture somebody. It would have been great. So, what about re-dramatization? What is your take on that?
Oh man, if you took the time and maybe spent a little bit of money, especially some AI tools might actually do 90% of it for you. If you come out and you do a video of the scene that you want to do, and you say, hey, AI, recreate this scene, show a guy come in who's upset, or show a guy come in and knock on the door, somebody answer and them get upset, pause, and it would take you some time, but you could recreate scenes like that. And if you did it without AI, just you and a guy, and you just did it, that would be even better probably. And then make it even easier on everyone, but not as cool, is you just interview them. I've interviewed, there's like one guy on my podcast, Jay Sorensen. I interviewed him, and he told some of the best stories. He was a brand new server, but he was so like, gung ho about getting them served, that when he went out to go serve them, he was just having fun with it. And he came back after 2 weeks of working and had so many stories about people that were running from him. One lady left, if you listen to the podcast, one lady left her baby in the camping chair and ran inside. And he was like, lady, what about your baby? And she came back and was like, oh, and he took her paperwork, and it just, the way he told the story was so good. So when you hear these stories, be like, say, hey, I'm starting a podcast where I want to interview you about these things. Of course, you don't share names or anything like that. But I think that kind of content, if it's in-house, I think that kind of content's really good, because people are like, they hear you interview. It's not like you and another process serving company. It's you and your guys.
Right.
Hey, because then imagine the relationship between you and your guys, where you're saying, yeah, but you didn't do this, did you, John? John, hey, remember we talked about knocking on the door? Add little things like that. Hey, remember I said, when you do the status, you got your status back right away too, man. That was so good. I would pre-think of things like that to say and just interview him. That in itself would be so valuable, especially if they're good stories.
Would you say that was 90% would be done? Did you say an AI? Can you get it done 90%?
There's AI tools, yeah, that will completely, like one's called Midjourney, that will completely recreate a scene. There's a couple others I'm looking at too. One's called what is it called? I have a list of them I'm going through, but yeah, not next week, because I'm gonna be off next week in the camper and traveling. And then the next week after that, we're gonna start, and I want to start doing more automation. So we're gonna go through all the automations. We're listed everywhere. We got our content, whatever content methods we're gonna do, whether it's posting shorts and videos. Hopefully you're doing all of it, but start where you can, right? And tomorrow we're going to talk about podcasting, how to actually create a show that's automated where you could just hit live, make the podcast however you want to do it, whether you show your face or not, have that information automatically put on pod. The reason why is because podcast platforms have such a high domain authority. They show up on Google search. If they search exactly your company name on Google search, the entire first page of Google should be you, because you have all the social platforms, you have the directories you're a part of, and then the podcast platforms all rank really high. So if somebody searches process server in your city, you've said this process server in San Diego, let's say, you've said the city so many times in your podcast and in your descriptions of podcast episodes and in your post on social media, it's going to show up on the first page of Google. And so really what we're doing here is what Seth Godin said, just make a ruckus, a loud noise that so loud that people can't deny your existence. And what Grant Cardone says is like to kill obscurity. Forgive my French, but he says to make obscurity your bitch. Basically, you are not unknown. You are known among everyone in your area. Now, a lot of people aren't going to like that. Who's this guy think he is? Or who's this girl think she is being? Okay. The other half of people are like, man, this is so cool. That's so cool. Look at him go. Let's send
There
him
are
some
mega
work.
haters out there.
Let's send him some work. He's doing so good, man. I wish more people would be more vocal. What a cool story about, and as your company grows, you start donating, you start giving to charity, you start holding your own charity events. Some of these attorneys who do this really well, there's a guy in Florida, everybody knows, oh, Morgan and Morgan. Everybody knows Morgan and Morgan a lot. They're just like huge. This guy, he is so funny. He does these reels with his shirt off. And he's like, sees, what does he say? I'm basically, this is the dad who's basically retired. All his kids are attorneys, basically. And John Morgan's like one of the richest, most influential people in Florida. And he said he's got billboards everywhere. And he said, the one that I remember that was just so funny, he's like, he's lathering himself up with like the sunscreen and he's like out by his pool and he goes, I'm so tan. And he's like kind of chunky. He's like, I'm so tan. I'm basically an athlete. Brown fat is kind of like muscle. I'm basically an athlete. And the way he said it was so funny. So that's what you want to do. You want to be yourself. Find your personality and your vibe, and it will attract your tribe. Those people who relate to you will come out of the woodwork. And a lot of this is your own personal bias of that you don't have that, but you do. You just got to let it go. And sometimes it means partnering with somebody or paying somebody. You think Procter and Gamble, 85-year-old CEO is going out? Probably not. But he's hiring influencers. He's got the cash to hire influencers and people to be the personality for the brand, create commercials, right? Geico, you don't see Warren Buffett, who owns like 60% of Geico. You don't see him out there doing crazy videos like that. He's got a freaking gecko that's making funny videos, right? So cool, guys. I think this was good. I know it was a lot of content, a lot of tools. Uh, you know, quick review here, and then I'll just say goodbye because I think you guys are burned out, but I appreciate you guys sticking with me. Or I'm burned out, we'll say that. All right, so website, we'll build it for you, or you get your own website. Marketing notes. This is because I know we have some new people, or maybe that didn't come yesterday. You can get the link inside the deal. Put all your these are mine, of course. You want to copy this, make it your own, and then put your social links in here. Tomorrow we're going to go over podcasting and how easy it actually is. A lot of people overthink this. I'm going to show you how to use StreamYard, the same tool we used ideally to create our long form video that we took and put into Opus and had Opus make little clips out of it, right? Oh, Andy, you got something? Oh, it might have been a while ago. Can you hear me? Okay.
Oh, now.
Oh, yes, I got you.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
No worries.
operator here. I did send you guys a message for website, so hopefully I can hear from you. I hear from you guys. Oh, she's probably, I don't know if you have someone that does that. I thought I hear you talk about somebody who does that specifically.
Yeah, Desi's
Yes.
my business
I
partner.
see.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's awesome. So you ordered on the website or you sent a message?
Well, I sent a message. I didn't order it yet, but I was
Okay.
going to, like, I want to. I just didn't see the link to order it, so I just sent a message.
Oh, okay. Yeah, under pricing, you just click on a button. I'll ask her if she got your message, but yeah, she's usually really good about it. Let me see.
Okay. Could be my fault.
Yeah, no worries. So I think that's the link to order right there. Pricing is the page that you go to. And it has the three different, yeah, there you go, pricing plans. So there's one for 47, one for 79. And basically the difference is if you want online ordering, you choose the 79 and it's $500 setup fee. And then yeah, she built it all out for you. It's a $10,000 website basically. If we weren't going to do a monthly hosting, we were just going to design, and that's what we would charge. And we have had a couple people sign up and pay the setup fee that don't want hosting, and that's what we charge. Which is crazy to me because you can cancel it anytime, right? So $500, and then we actually build you completely custom form. And so you just click sign up right there, and it'll take you to the form stack form, which is the same form builder we use to build your online ordering form. So if you need a logo, you should put that. If you don't need a logo, customer reviews or no, you can put them, right? All your social links we're talking about. Put your social links here. It's a little bit of I've had her remove a lot of stuff in here because I'm like, they just want to order and then you can get that information later. But there's some things she wants right up front so that she knows what to do right away to get something started for you. And then she'll send it to you to review, and then you can I always tell people, I know Jessica just did hers. I always tell people like have at least 100 or at least 10 things that you want changed, be meticulous. Like we want it to be perfect for you. So cool. Yeah, good stuff. And I'll check on that. We definitely you said you sent an email?
Yeah, I sent a couple. Yeah, I think I replied to the um
Oh, it
form or whatever. Yeah.
might have been
So
on my website then. Yeah, because I have a page on Mighty Process Server. It's
okay.
separate. That might have been what it was. Yeah, I'm not as good as she is. She's
Okay.
she's way better at replying to stuff. Yeah, support at mightywebsitebuilder.com if you guys have any questions for stuff. For sure. So, good question. Good stuff. Having the ability to, I just want to finish the wrap up here real quick, and then any other questions I'm happy to answer. So, um, yeah, best live recording tool, that's StreamYard. Um, you know, let me just put this here. StreamYard. That way we really start speaking the same language here. Recording tool. Okay, so that's my recording tool that I like. And then this is Opus. So shorts, reels. Okay. And again, this is something you can try if it works for you. If not, it's okay. I just love it. I absolutely love it. So yeah, StreamYard, Opus, and then MiniChat. And so what you want to do is you want to figure out a system that's going to work for you that you're actually going to use. Whenever somebody asks me about like what's the best CRM, which we're going to talk about that in the last week of this month, CRMs and email marketing and stuff, follow up with people. I always tell them it's the one that you're actually going to use. So the stuff that we went over today, the main like litmus test here is like, are you going to use it? If you're going to use it, then that's the best one. So I like StreamYard because it's easy for me to log in and just hit live. I could literally come in on the home screen, hit live stream, and choose the social platforms I want to go live on. And then just put my title and hit create live stream. It'll open up in the recording studio, and I can go live. The other thing is I don't want to go live. I just want to record something. I could do that too. And so that's why I like StreamYard because it removes that the barrier of entry or the barrier that keeps you from actually taking action. Any kind of resistance will keep you from, like, ChatGPT has removed a lot of the resistance mentally of like, well, what do I talk about? You have no excuse now, right? Look at this. I mean, look at this, 30 different, great, they're all good. I'll just pick a random one. Can you serve process on government entities? It's a great question. Yes, you can. Some, like the veterans place, they want you to go to specific places, right? So you can talk about, make sure you're, maybe I would probably, it's been a while, so I'd probably Google it. And I'd probably also mention the fact that you need to have, if it's for a subpoena, that you might need to pay, have a check accompanying the subpoena for $240, right? I mean, do you remember, Ryan? You probably are more recent than I have. But whenever you serve government entities, you actually some of them, especially sheriffs, the highway patrol, you have to serve with the check, a $240 check. So if somebody hired you to go serve it. So anyway, that'd be a quick 60-second thing that you could easily record. So ChatGPT has taken away some of that resistance. You just go in there and it'll tell you exactly what to say, what to do. And then of course, once you've done that, how do you get them to get to your website? Many chat, or you being in the comments and DMs, just replying to people whenever they comment, hey, thanks for your comment. It feels cheesy, but to say, hey, thanks for your comment. But visit my website here to learn more about, the full process, and how to work with us or something, right? You actually have to do that. But if you do mini chat, you won't feel cheesy about it. It will just work, even if it's 2 o'clock in the morning. They're going to get a comment, reply to their comment, and then they're going to get a DM with the link, because Instagram doesn't let you put links in comments, right? So it says, I sent you a DM, and then they'll go to their DMs and see your direct message is a link to your website to learn more about how to work with you and how you work with attorneys, how you specialize in XYZ, right? So converting them into a customer is what we're talking about. So a lot of people will come back after all that I just said and say, yeah, but how do I get customers from it? That's how. And I did, but I did it the manual way for a long time. Just DMing attorneys, DMing paralegals, getting in on Twitter and looking what the groups were that I needed to be a part of so that I could message the right people. So thank you guys so much. Do we have any other questions or comments? You guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out with me. I know we went a little long today. It was a lot of stuff, but we don't have to come back to it. This is it. People can watch the replay. You know how to use the tools now, and now we can move on to podcasting, which is actually a lot more fun, I think, and the different ways to do it and automate it. So you just hit live and do some recording, and so we'll get into that first thing tomorrow, right? Thank you, guys. All right, let's do our flex. Got some good looking people on today. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the community.
Hi, thank you.
Right.